King.
How are you, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, man. What's going on, dude? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see you, but I see a picture.
Yeah, no, I don't have video turned on, man. It's just radio.
No worries at all, brother. How's everything?
Fucking doing great, man. Fucking so tell us, man, what the fuck is going on in the world of deceased, man?
Man, we got the new record done, The Children of the Morgue. Fantastically proud of it. Busted our ass. It sounds like everything we've ever done, like put together into one big album. We recorded it from May 10th till about June 15th at Oblivion Studios, where we did like Fearless and Supernatural Addiction and a lot of the records. The last one, Ghostly White. And we're just now going to start getting some of the tracks into the set list and bring out some more old stuff we probably haven't played in a while from the old days too, and just start, beating the hell out of everything, man.
Fuck yeah, dude. How many fucking records have you guys put out now at this point, man? What number is this one?
Let's see. I'm looking at them on the wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess this is our 8th full length and our second EP. We do 2 EPs, so I guess we're around 10.
Hell yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
Plus,
dude.
There's tons of demos and live things. If you were putting it all together, it's probably like 20, 30 things. But just full length records. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 8th full length.
God damn, dude. It's fucking badass, man. Well, I mean, as far as the recording process for this record, like, did you guys do anything different, or you just pretty much doing the same thing, or
I'm kind of doing the same thing, but I'm producing. I've been producing for a while, and I think I'm getting better. Me and Mike Smith, the guitar player, we mixed the record along with Mike Bozier, who's the engineer and the owner of Oblivion Studios. Yeah. I really think the mix is probably our best mix, and I definitely think the production's probably the best thing we've had in a while. Supernatural Addiction, I think, still stands as our best sounding record, but we hired an outside producer then with Simon Effamy, who does work with Napalm Death and Paradise Lost and bands like that. So we had that, but just, that's important to me. The playing's up to par. This is the first one with the new drummer, Amos Rifkin, who took over. Dave died after the last album in 2018. Our drummer for years, Dave Scarface, he drowned in El Salvador in late 2018. So Amos's first time in there, and Shane's back for his third full-length record. And Les is still playing bass. He's added a lot of bass lines. We hadn't heard from Les doing a lot of bass lines for a good while, man. And we were happy that he was able to get all that on there too. So it's the same old Deceased, but just a few years older for songwriting, for thinking we're a little bit better players. Hopefully my voice is still strong. I'm 56 these days. So, I'm giving it all I've got. We all are. It's not a rent record, which I mean, we didn't just throw 8, 9, 10 songs together and call it a record.
Hell yeah, dude. You mentioned Mike Bozier, man. He's fucking awesome, dude. I've been friends with him for a long time, dude. Fucking cool fucking dude, man.
I love Mike. He's definitely part of the family. And Mike even played a guitar solo on the record. We wanted him on there, man.
Oh, that's sick, dude. That's awesome, Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Hell yeah, man. So I know you guys just did you just did a run of live dates, man. You just did a tour, right?
We did right before we recorded the album back in I guess it was April. We ran out. We played with Violence and Exorder. We went on like a eight show no days off kind of. Well, actually, we did have one day off. Eight shows, 9-day thing, just an East Coast thing. I think we ran. It was like Massachusetts, New York, Philly. Then it was Baltimore. We had 2 shows in Ohio, Detroit, and Chicago, and that was great, man. It was great. We played a little bit earlier. We were we were third on the bill. There was another band on there too, and we were playing like 9:30 till like 10:15 every night. It was great. I like that spot. You kind of get in there, you do your thing. It's not like it's your show, but you're kind of like just special guest with stuff. And it all went great. We got along with everybody. Everybody was cool. It was a nice little run, man. It really was. Great shows, great turnouts every night. We had a really, really good great turnout in Cincinnati, Ohio, which kind of surprised us because I've played Cincinnati for years, and it's always been sort of somewhere on the lower side of things. And, I've always enjoyed myself. I don't care who's in the room, but it was pretty crazy to see that many people coming out in Cincinnati.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Speaking of the live shows, I think during that tour, you did an interview with J-Dog from fucking Hells Headbangers. I was watching that on YouTube, man, and love that guy, man. It's fucking hilarious, dude. But
yeah, he's fucking hilarious. He wants to get me talking and saying my thing. So he's like, people love it when you're saying shit about people and stuff. I'm like, I'm a happy dude, man. I'm happy as shit. I'm having fun, and I'll call him out sometimes and fuck with him. I'm his size, so we could fucking go at it. I'll tell him, I'll bust him in his fucking damn head, But I love the guys. I love Hells Headbangers have been superb to us. They were again with this. They gave us a great budget to get the record done. It's coming out on CD, cassette, and double gatefold vinyl, the new Children of the Morgue record. So I have nothing but good things for them. And, Justin just does his show, and we have fun, and that's my is that my second? That's my this is my third time doing that now. Every time I'm up there, he wants to just talk about something, and I'm fine with it. I mean, we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly,
Yeah, yeah. Well, one of the things you were talking about on there, which I really identified with, was you were talking about how fucking you guys, like, still try to, fucking meet with the fans and stuff and just fucking hang out, and, like, there's no fucking, fuck all the egos and shit, and fuck all the fucking, like, the whole fucking meet and greet type.
Oh yeah, this is the underground, man. We're not the Rolling Stones. We're not Kiss. I was given that damn VIP stuff. I've been laying into that stuff, and some people, the guys in Dying Fetus, who I know, I'm not a Dying Fetus music guy, but I've known those guys forever, and I got nothing against them and stuff. But he was like, I was like, man, this is the underground. I'm not having people pay money to meet me. Not having people pay money to have a fucking scrabble on a piece of paper. We're the underground, dude. This is what we got into this for, was to get away from all that corporate business bullshit. I'm not into that stuff. I'm hoping that we can keep ticking prices down, that we can keep everything down. The world is so expensive to live in, and I mean, if anything we can do, we're going to try to do. But yeah, as far as we're all in this together, brother. None of us are better than the others. It doesn't matter what side of the stage or whatever the fence you're on. We're all in this together.
Yeah, man. We've been doing the Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest down here. We're doing our third year this year, and that's a big thing as far as like the vibe and like the whole thing, that what we're trying to do, because it's all underground bands, and like everybody's able to just fucking come and meet the bands. They're all at their merch tables. They're all walking around hanging out. Like there's no fucking weirdness about it. And that's
what I love, man.
That's fucking awesome, man.
That's what I love, my friend. I'm not into that fucking too cool for school bullshit, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, man. So when are you guys gonna come down to Tennessee, man? Fucking.
It won't be too long. Let me put it to you this way: we're coming up. I was talking to. I did a podcast a couple of days ago. I was telling them we're coming up on our 40th anniversary as a band. We're actually in our 40th anniversary now, but I'm going to call it the 39th because we didn't change the name of the band to actually Deceased until 85. So next year is our 40th. So as this year, we've got right now, we've got 4 shows lined up going forward. We've got 3 on the Labor Day weekend. We've got 2 festivals, the RPM Fest in Massachusetts, and then we've got the Rage of Armageddon Fest in Brooklyn the next night, and then we're doing an album release show in D.C., which is basically our home stomping grounds. As you know, I'm originally Arlington. This band originated in Virginia. We're doing those 3, and then we're going to do a festival in Hawaii, like the Volcanic Metal Fest, and we're going to play Hawaii. Then we're going to regroup. We're going to figure it all out, and we're going to make a big-ass run across the country, hopefully overseas a bunch, and celebrate the whole next year and the end of this year as the 40th anniversary of the band. And, of course, Tennessee's going to be on there, man. There's absolutely no fucking way we won't be. We're definitely coming back.
Fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking Memphis, man. Whoever's doing
gotta go to Memphis.
Yeah, dude, because
I'm trying to think of the last time I was in Memphis. That might have been with Savage Master last time we were out that way. That's a few years ago. I think Dave was still alive, so that was at least 6 years ago, man.
Yeah. I'm in Jackson, so that's like Memphis is about an hour away from here, so that's pretty easy to reach, but
That's pretty easy for you. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that in mind, dude. We're going to do everything we can to play as much as we can. You know, being older, like I said, I'm not the oldest guy in the band. Actually, Mike Smith is the oldest guy in the band by almost half a year. But getting older and stuff, you got all this commitments to work and to mortgages and to wives and to kids and just, you know, how the world works now. But we're going to put it all on the table and just go for it next year. So we're going to hit a lot of places, man. We got to just get together as a band and figure it all out. But we're definitely coming, brother. I promise you, man.
Fuck yeah, man. Well, speaking of that, you know, you talk about fucking life and stuff like that, you know, mortgages and shit like that. Is this band, do you guys do this full time or do you have fucking side jobs?
We don't. I mean, we'd love to. It doesn't pay the bills. It never will. You know, when we started the band, I didn't think Shrieks from the Hearse or Feasting on Skulls was going to pay the bills, and it doesn't. And that's okay. We make the time. We still love it. We still have the passion to give it all we have in the writing department and for new material. They give it our all playing live. I mean, we go all out. You know, I'm sure you know my documented history of my health and shit. I've been through strokes and blood clots that almost killed me and shit like that. I ain't fucking stopping, and the other guys aren't either, man. We just have to just set it up so everything can fall into place. It is very much possible to do everything, but we definitely don't live off of the band at all.
Hell yeah, man. Well, you know, I follow you on Facebook, man, and I'm always seeing you posting all these kind of fucking posts about, like, all your shit that you got, man, there at your fucking place, man. You got, like, insane amounts of fucking shit, man. Fucking 8 tracks, fucking records, all kinds of shit. What? Where are you at right now? Do you have a number of, like, how much fucking stuff that you have? Do you have a catalog?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I mean, I've always been a collector. I've always looked for things here and there and everywhere as I've gone along, and I've been everywhere there is to go, I think. At my most, and here's the thing, as I get older, I've gotten rid of stuff and things like that. You've probably seen me do some of my raffles. I want to move it on to people for fair prices, things that I no longer need. Or, like, for example, I used to have about 10,000 VHS tapes. Well, then when DVDs came out, I went and started collecting them. I didn't need to keep the VHS of this or the cassette of a record or vice versa, whatever. I can tell you this, just for numbers. At my most vinyl, I had about 18,000 vinyls. VHS was around 10,000. DVDs, that's my thing in my house right now is I probably still have truthfully, about 12,000 store-bought DVDs. That's my movie collection. That's what I do these days. You know, that's where my money goes when I have any. What else? As far as CDs, at my most, I probably had about 9,000 CDs and things like that. I've got tons of movie posters, and, you know, my nostalgia. I don't know if you can see behind me just on the video, but I mean, I'm like, you know, my old Kiss Frisbees. My Kiss Frisbees over here. My Burnt Offerings movie. What is over here? My Land of the Lost book from when I was a kid, you know. So it's still there. I love nostalgia. I love just, you know, I'm stuck in being a kid, man. I'm sure you are, too, to a point. That's always important, too, to keep that youthful energy inside you, you know?
Oh, yeah, me too, man. Yeah. I got a bunch of shit, man. I save all kinds of stuff, too, man. But, like, fuck, dude. Like, what you're talking about, that puts me to shame, dude. Like, I'm looking over.
I mean, people ask me, they're like, why do you get rid of stuff? I'm like, man, there's just so much stuff. I mean, I love to have it all. But once I started, like, downgrading years ago, when I moved from Virginia to Pennsylvania, I had to downgrade. I had, like, Charlie's Angels pinball machines and stuff. I couldn't even fit it in my house. And so I went for a storage unit. And I had a storage unit for, like, 2 years. And then I looked and I realized I was paying, like literally like $9,000-$10,000 a year on this huge storage unit. And I'm like, I can't fucking have this. I got to get a fucking house and do that. So now that we have our place, like this living room I'm in, this is kind of like I guess this is my man cave, if you would call that. Still got my Kiss pinball machine is behind me over here and all that kind of stuff. And just stuff that I grew up with that I'll never part with. It could be anything from, if you could see this, but I'll just tell you, over here there's a life-size Speed Racer thing on my wall. Like, that's something from when I was a kid. And you got something like the Beatles over here, which was my first love band, or these huge plasmatics posters. Or over here, there's like Hong Kong Phooey, you know, like dolls and shit. So it's all over the place, but it's just things I grew up with, or just mean something to me nostalgically, or lifetime kind of stuff. Yeah. I love doing it, man, and I love passing the stuff on that I don't keep to people, for a fair price. I'm like I said earlier, I'm not from that school. I'm not stupid. I see people flip stuff all the time, and people are like, man, you're letting stuff go for a lot cheaper. Whether it be a Kiss belt buckle, or I let this guy have a Kiss beach towel that I had from when I was 9 years old, and I ended up selling it to him for $20. And he's like, that thing's on eBay right now for $1,200 in the same condition yours is. I'm like, I know. And I was like, it would sure help with the bills, but I just can't bring myself to be that crazy money-wise with things. So I need to, find a middle ground, so to speak, when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I love it, brother. I really do.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy how much some of these people are charging for some of that stuff on Discogs.
Oh, exactly. Me and my wife were just out today looking at stuff, and we went to a store in New Jersey, and we were actually looking at Captain and Tennille dolls, and it was like $120 for the set, and I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, we're not paying $120 for Captain and Tennille dolls.
What's one of your prized possessions, man, in your whole collection, man? What's some stuff that
I guess I would say that Kiss pinball machine, kind of a cool story. Bought it off of Tesco V from the Meat Man, and this lady used to have a store in Virginia that was called Starstruck. She had like all kinds of just off the wall stuff, but she called me one day and she goes, Tesco V is selling his Kiss pinball machine. I said, well, what does he want for it? She said $750. I said, shit, I don't have $750 right now. And she said, well, I'll give it to the end of the day. If you can come up with it, you'll be the first one that gets a crack at it. So I went and I had this really big Yoda piggy bank, and it was full of quarters. And I was talking to my girlfriend at the time, and she said, there might be $750 in quarters in there. And I said, you think? And she said, maybe. So we started busting it out and started counting and counting and counting. And sure enough, this was the craziest thing. There was $750.50 in this thing. So I went and paid him in quarters, which he found hilarious because it's a pinball machine, which we all know you throw quarters in. And I ended up getting that thing. I've had that Kiss pinball machine almost probably 35 years now. And it's just something I wanted from when I was a kid. I was like, one day I'm going to get a Kiss pinball machine. And so that means a lot to me. There's things. I have a Kiss bunch that I got for my first concert ever, the Dynasty Tour, when it came out of the ceiling at the Capitol Center in Maryland. I've still got that over here, too. So little things, nostalgic in different ways. But I would say that Kiss pinball machine has followed me everywhere, man, for the last 35 years.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Fucking Capitol Center, man. That was where I went to see my first show when I was like 8 years old, man.
I'm with you, brother. Me too. 1979, yeah. The day after my birthday, July 7th, 79. It was Kiss and New England.
Well, you're gonna laugh at me because it was Cinderella and Bon Jovi, dude. But I was.
Okay, let me ask. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something.
Old, and that shit was fucking insane.
What year was that, brother? What year was that?
It was the Slippery When Wet tour, man. With Cinderella just came out with Night Songs, and they were opening up for him.
Do you know what the exact year was? That 88, 89?
No, I think it was like 86, 87.
Is that what it was? Okay, because I was going to say we were one night. This is a funny story. One night we were out just partying with these girls we met. We were in this graveyard, and the cops came. We were all drinking and being loud, and they were like, these girls aren't actually 21. They're like, 19, and they can't be drinking. And we've called their parents, and they, y'all gonna get away from them, because we were like 21. We were just a little bit older than them. And I was like, okay. So they went home. I was like, now what the fuck do we do? And somebody said, man, Bon Jovi's in town with Cinderella tonight. We should go up to the arena and see if we can get some girls. So we went up to Capitol Center. That's why I was asking you if it was that one. Yeah. I ended up meeting a bunch of girls, and I ended up dating about all of them for the next couple of years, man. So that I always wanted to know when that was, and I've always thought it was 88 because I couldn't figure it out. My memory's great. I go looking on like set lists and stuff. I don't know if Bon Jovi and Cinderella played there together twice, but it was definitely Bon Jovi and Cinderella when I went, because Cinderella was outside the loading docks when we went over there, and that's how we met these girls. Yeah. But that's funny if that's your first show. That's cool. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, man. I was 8 years old, and my babysitter always heard me in my bedroom, blasting all that shit, and she was like, she asked my mom because she had tickets to go to the show, and she was like, "You care if we take him to the show with us?" And she was like, "No, he'll love it." So they took me to the show with them, but I got there, I had to stand up on the seat, and I remember when the lights went out and then they came back on. Every T-shirt in the fucking place was up, dude. I looked around, I was like, "Holy fuck, what the fuck is this, man?" Just mind blowing, dude.
Right. Let me ask you a question. Maybe you remember, maybe you don't. Do you remember if they had like a walkway at the top of the arena that he walked across?
Yeah, I think they did, and they had
the reason I'm asking you that is because the show was over when we got there. It was over. People were leaving, but we actually walked into the arena when people were coming out of it, and I just happened to look down into the arena, and I saw that walkway at the top. So it probably was when you're saying it was, and that might be right. The only reason I'm confused about today is I ended up dating this one girl for like a year, but she was in the studio with me when we were doing Nuclear Exorcist, and that was '89. So it's kind of weird for me, but maybe it was late. Now maybe it was late '87. Sound about right? Maybe.
Yeah. It was around that time, okay. Man.
Yeah, well, you definitely just helped me with something I've been wondering for a few years now.
That's cool as fuck.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hell, that's not a bad first concert. You had a good old time rocking. That's all that matters, man.
No. I think I redeemed myself when I was 15. I went to see Slayer, so that was a little bit better. By that point, I was into all the heavier shit, and getting into stuff. And
well, where I live right here, we're in Cinderella country. Cinderella's from like right down the road here. So is Brittany Fox, like those bands that Bon Jovi discovered. Brittany Fox lives like 5 minutes. The guitar player lives like 5 minutes from me right here.
Yeah, man, those bands were fucking huge back then, man.
They were. There's a few people up here. Peter Boltz from Accept, he lives up here. I'm pretty sure Doro Pesch lives around here too. She's definitely was living in Philly for a good while. And I think she's up by me. I'm right outside of Philly. I'm like 20 minutes outside of Philly.
Doro's awesome, man. I've had her on the show a couple of times, and I always laugh when I talk to her because I'm like, you don't even know, like I had posters of you on the walls when I was a kid, like what the fuck? She's fucking awesome, man.
Well, do you remember Jack's in Virginia?
No.
Well, Jack's was like the kind of the nightclub for a bunch of years where all the bands went, whether it be Dio or Doro. What I'm getting at was Doro did a show, and at the end she was like, "We're going to do White Wedding." They did Billy Idol White Wedding, and I went up and sang it with her. And then the next week was Wacken over in Germany, and she was over there, and we were playing. Deceased was playing. And we went over there, and all of a sudden she looked at me and she goes, "You look familiar." And I said, "Yeah, I sang with you in Springfield, Virginia, White Wedding." She goes, "That's it." She goes, "How are you here?" I said, "How are you here?" I said, "We both did the same thing. We flew over here, man." She's a super sweetheart. She's cool as hell.
Yeah, she is, man. Hell yeah, man. Well, that's fucking cool, man. It's such a small world, like it's big, but it's like the community.
Oh yeah, we're all bumping into each other, any and everywhere.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day in the industry, and he was laughing. He was telling me, like back in the old days, all the thrash bands and all the heavy bands used to make fun of and fuck with the fucking glam rock bands and stuff. But nowadays, now that everybody's getting older, they're all kind of, a lot of them are getting along, and they talk more and stuff. Like it's just different. Like it's starting.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, anybody that's still doing this, man, you gotta, stick your hand out and shake their hand and give them a pat on the back, man. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, I
think I saw the other day that Anthrax did a cover of "Round and Round" by Rat at one of their shows.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, I was reading that. I was like, well, that's fucking crazy, man. Because you think back, like back in the '80s and '90s, that would have never happened, man.
Never would. They wouldn't have admitted to it. I remember when that video surfaced of Tom Araya singing "Looks That Kill" from Motley Crue on YouTube. People were like, "The dude from Slayer singing Motley Crue." Oh no, everybody likes what they like, and we all grew up with what we grew up with, man. All that stuff was part of it for me too. I'm still a big fan of it, especially the first Motley Crue, "Too Fast for Love." I think that's a fantastic record. And I had a story. I remember meeting Rat on the Out of the Cellar tour at Penguin Feather Records in Virginia, and I remember vividly that Bobby Blotzer was cool as hell, Warren DeMartini was cool as hell. and Juan Crosier were cool as hell. Steve Piercy and what's his name, Robin Crosby, they were fucking pricks. But we met them. It was just go down there. They were in town, and I actually went down to the show, and I got the last ticket. It was $1 because it was DC 101, the radio station, and I got the last ticket. And I tried to get in, and I didn't have an ID, and they wouldn't let me in. And some guy looked at me, and he's like, "You gonna sell that ticket?" I said, "I guess I am." They're not letting me in. He said, "I'll give you $40 for it right now." It was $1. I said, "You got it, man. It's yours." So I was already right by Georgetown. I went down there, bought the first Trouble record. I remember buying Witchfinder General, Friends of Hell, a couple of heavy metal magazines, a Broke His Helm demo. So I got my money's worth out of it.
Hell yeah. Well, speaking of you guys, man, like I remember when I got the Death Is Just the Beginning record. I know I've told you this before, but when I got that compilation, it had 13 Souls on it. That was one of the songs that stuck out to me, man. Fucking, I've always loved that. I know you said, I know
right on. Yeah, that was our.
You don't like that song too much, but man,
I love this. Yeah, everybody always, because that's my least favorite Deceased record is that 13 Frightened Souls. It's not the tunes. I love playing the tunes. As a matter of fact, 13 Frightened Souls is in the upcoming set list for those shows I told you about earlier. It's just the recording. It's just the way I sang the songs, and I personally on drums played them. I could have done so much better, but it was new to us, and I've learned from mistakes we all have. But it's just when I go back, it's the one I like the least. But I like the tunes. I'm proud of those songs. Man, that was the first stuff we recorded and wrote with Mike Smith had come into the band when Doug left after Luck of the Corpse.
Hell yeah. Have you ever thought about re-recording some of those songs like that one?
We did in actually, well, we redid a lot of those songs like a few years later, late 90s. Now that would be like almost probably 25 years ago since we re-recorded them. We did a few from the demos. We're getting ready to come up on that 40th anniversary, and we're going to do a double CD for Hells Headbangers called March of the Cadavers, and we're going to re-record 3 songs from the demo: Sick Thrash, Vomiting Blood, and Below the Tombstone. For that as part of it. It's kind of, I don't want to call it a greatest hits, but it's going to have tunes from all the eras of the band and a nice big, pull out CD, tell the history of the band and let everybody, talk a little bit about, what it's meant to them, etc. So we're going to go back and record a few more oldies, but yeah, I mean, 13 Frightened Souls is still a fun song for me.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know like with the recent, the Cavalera brothers fucking doing Morbid Visions and Schizophrenia, man. Like, I love those originals. I grew up on those, but those re-recordings, man, they're fucking, they ain't bad, man. I don't know if I'd go that far and re-record a full record or anything like that, but I mean, just to hear them played better and recorded better would be kind of neat, for the most part. But you can never recreate the vibe, and maybe you shouldn't. But again, as I've told you 10 minutes ago, I'm nostalgic as shit, so I'm locked into the original artwork, and it is what it is, a learning experience, whatever that time in your life, a moment in time, whatever you want to call it, Hell yeah, brother. All right, well, as far as like modern music and stuff, man, what kind of stuff are you listening? Do you listen to a lot of modern metal bands, or you...
I'm still stuck in my old records, man. I mean, believe it or not, I still play just the standards I grew up with. I'll be playing not even full on metal. I mean, hard rock stuff, Y&T, Triumph. That stuff I love. I'll get in my car. I still love my Voivod and my Maidens and, my old Saxon and stuff like that. For newer stuff, I mean, I really don't play much. It's within the metal world. I'll hear it, and a lot of it's just, I hate to say it, but it's rehash of rehash of rehash now. It's a lot of like 3rd, 4th, 5th generation stuff. I've got friends in some of these bands, and I wish them well and stuff. But to be, just to be genuine and tell you the truth, I don't listen to a lot of the newer material, buy a lot of stuff. Well, we play shows with some newer bands that are good for what they do, and I enjoy it. Like Savage Master, they're older now, but I love what they do for like that, the female fronted heavy metal, with the fucking little cultish kind of vibe to it. I dig that, and I just kind of just do my thing and jam my stuff. I couldn't even name a band that's newer that would even be modern. It's just not in my world, I guess.
Savage Master is over now?
The Savage Master's still going, but I'm just saying they're older.
They're
like,
I mean, it
was newer a few years ago. I was saying newer bands like them. Now they've been a decade old at least, probably now. So
okay, I got you.
They're still going strong. They're doing their thing, and I'm proud of them. They're dear friends. We've done a lot of gigs and a few tours together, and I love them. They're really, really, really good people.
Hell yeah! All right, well, I'm about out of questions for you, man. Is there anything else you want to let the people know?
No, I just want to say thank you, brother. I hope you're doing great. I appreciate you doing what you do for the underground and music, man. You've always been a straight up guy, and I wish you well. And you got my word, man. We're going to come up there to Memphis area for the Tennessee show and let everybody know the record's out on it's August 30th on Hells Headbangers, Children of the Morgue. It's 110% deceased, death metal from the grave, the way we do it from the old school and the over 50 bunch for most of us. I don't want to speak for the whole band, but that's where we are, man, and we're never going to stop doing what we do, and I wish everybody well and stay healthy and don't take no bullshit, man.
Hell
and
yeah.
all the best to you, Zach, buddy.
Hey, man, thanks, man. Before I let you go, can I get you to make us a station tag real quick?
Absolutely.
All right, whenever you're ready, say something like this is Deceased, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
All right. This is King Fowley from Deceased, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
Fuck yeah, man. Badass.
That good for you?
All right, man. Well, yeah. It's fucking awesome, dude. I'm gonna.
I appreciate you, buddy. Keep touching. I'll see you on Facebook for sure.
All right, brother. We'll talk to you later, man.
Okay, buddy.
Cheers.
Take care. Bye-bye.
There you have it, folks. Deceased live on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation Radio. Like I told you motherfuckers earlier, put your speakers in your windows, put them in your front lawns, put them in your neighbor's driveway. Do whatever you got to do, man. If you don't see U-Haul trucks everywhere tomorrow, you got serious fucking problems, motherfucker. Crank it the fuck up loud as a fuck. This is Deceased.